Are you ready, Thomas? Was that the last time I get to say that? Are you ready, Thomas?
I am ready.
Okay. So we'll call the council to order, and we'll have Councillor Hanson read the conciliation.
In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge our meeting place. The City of Flin Flon Council Chambers is situated on the ancestral lands, 3-5 territory. We would like to acknowledge that we also work in partnership with First Nations in Treaty 6 and 10 territories and the Métis Nation.
Thank you. Before I move on, I think this is the perfect time for us to do a few congratulations and some acknowledgements, actually. The first one is with reference to Councillor Richardson, who is not here today. She's out in a business meeting out of town. But Councillor Richardson recently attended the Strong Cities Network in Victoria, BC. It's to prevent hate and building social cohesion conference. It was the first conference of its kind. Councillor Richardson was invited by the conference to be a presenter on a panel with 3 other communities from Canada and the United States. Travel, accommodation, and conference costs were paid by the conference themselves, the organizers themselves, not by the city. So it was very interesting to be represented with one of our councils that something so large and our small community again in a spotlight. The next one is a congratulations here. Council and I would like to congratulate Crystal Cole, the Director of Culture and Community Initiatives for the City of Flin Flon, on receiving the King Charles Coronation Award in October. Crystal has been involved in the arts since moving from Winnipeg to Flin Flon almost 30 years ago. Crystal has been on a mission to support and grow the northern creative sector. Prior to recently assuming the role of Director of Culture and Community Initiatives, which is a name I can never remember, the City of Flin Flon, Cole led the Arts Council for over 15 years as its coordinator. She helped start the Uptown Emporium, helped as an understatement, in 2021, giving artisans from a number of northern communities an outlet to sell their creation. She also organizes the annual Flin Flon Culture Days Festival and is on the organizing committee of the Blueberry Jam Music Festival. With her husband, Mark Colt, musician and former CAO of the City of Flin Flon, they founded the Flin Flon Community Choir, which enjoyed its third performance in Carnegie Hall, New York, in November of 2023. So we're very proud of our 2 people. And while we're in the middle of that, I want to acknowledge and thank Thomas Duncan, who's standing on the other side of the camera, for the work that he's done for us. And Thomas is here before I came back as a mayor, so I'm told you came in at 2029, Thomas? 2019, I mean? Or thereabouts?
2022.
Okay, then I've got the date wrong. In any case, you've been around every time I've turned around since I've been here as the mayor. And, I've had my mug in a lot of pictures that wouldn't have occurred without you here. You've been taking care of our technical duties whenever we have meetings and need to get our machines running. And of course, here you are behind the camera again on your last night. Understand the move to BC is in order, and this is your last day. So we would like to thank you as a council and appreciate the work that you've done. That being said, we will move on to the reading and confirming of minutes with Councillor.
Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on October 15th, 2024 be adopted as received.
And his seconder, Councillor Hanson. All in favor? Okay, we're good. We have a proclamation for medical radiation technologist week. And that makes the week of November 3rd to the 9th, this year, 2024, Medical Radiation Technologists Week. Whereas medical radiation technologists are an essential link between patients and the sophisticated medical imaging and radiotherapy technologies in Manitoba healthcare system, and whereas the City of Flin Flon recognizes the vital contributions of medical radiation technologists to safe and appropriate health care in this province, and whereas other healthcare providers depend on the specialized skills and expertise of medical radiation technologists to ensure patients receive timely diagnosis and treatments, and whereas Medical Radiation Technologists Week is an opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the expertise and dedication of medical radiation technologists, as well as to encourage others to enter this vital profession. Now know ye that we do by these presents proclaim and declare that November 3rd to the 9th, 2024 shall be known as Medical Radiation Technologist Week in the city of Flin Flon.
Does. And
Share there.
We'll move from that to public hearings variation order 2024. And I think basically my job here is to ask if anybody is here for a variation.
if there's any comments from anyone.
How's that?
If there's any comments from anyone on production variation.
Okay, but I'm getting negative response, so that's not what any of you are here for. So, okay, we'll consider that done. We'll move to resolutions with Councillor Eagle.
Yes, thank you. I check resolution 34-30. Be it resolved that the accounts in the amount of $1,684,605.71 be approved for payment.
Seconder. Councillor Swift. All in favor? Thank you.
And I have the next resolution. It's a signing authorization, resolution 34-31. Whereas the mayor and council of the city of Flin Flon deem it necessary and prudent to designate signing authorities for conducting financial and legal transactions, be it resolved that the mayor and council hereunder authorizes Sandy Stokes, chief administrative officer, to sign, execute, and endorse on behalf of the city of Flin Flon for all financial transactions, legal documents, and other official agreements.
I need a seconder for that. It's Councillor Lithman. All in favor? You are officially signing.
Thank you.
Councillor Hanson.
I have one resolution, very wishes found. Resolution 34-33. Be it resolved that the city of Flin Flon provide the use of City Hall as headquarters for Operation Red Nose for the following dates: November 29th and 30th, December 6th and 7th, 13th and 14th, 20th and 31st, 2024, for a total of 8 nights.
I need a seconder for that. Councillor Eagle. All in favor? Didn't expect it. We've had good. Yes, you can. Something.
The city of Bradham is no longer offering the service because they don't have enough volunteers.
And
I heard that on the radio today. That's a sad thing.
It is a sad thing because it's a wonderful service.
It sure is. And very much used by our community. Sure.
step.
Thank God for the volunteers.
Speaking of that, since we've got a radio,
We need volunteers.
yes, we do, for especially New Year's Eve. Now they've got, I think it's the last 2 nights that they're going to have some difficulty. The rest are all pretty much covered, but the last 2 nights, and New Year's Eve is always tight. So if anybody's not busy on New Year's Eve and would like to be able to help with that, it's a great thing. It's a great thing for getting people home safely. It's a great thing for teaching attitudes, about what we do. And it's also a wonderful fundraiser that the Rotary Club uses and donates whenever there's youth-oriented projects in youth and sport. That money is always directed towards youth and sport. Nobody keeps that money for themselves. It all goes right back in the community. So if you're looking for a chance to volunteer, especially on New Year's Eve, you'd be welcome to contact anybody from the Rotary Club or myself, and we'll make sure you get, because you have to pass the security test. You have to do that. Everybody does, but it'd be much appreciated to do that. Actually, to me, okay, 5-4, that's Councillor Slap.
Yes, sir. Tax sale reserve bid Manitoba, 33-34. Whereas pursuant to Section 372 of the Municipal Act, a municipality may set a reserve bid in the amount of the tax arrears and costs in respect of the property. Be it resolved that the City of Flin Flon place a reserve bid on all properties in the amount of all arrears and costs in respect of each property, or place a reserve bid in the amount of all arrears and costs in respect of each tax sale property. Got to continue.
Good. Yeah. Need a seconder. Councillor Eagle. All in favor? Okay.
I have one more.
Yes, you
Mr. Mayor, 34-35, be it resolved that bylaw number 2024-13, being a bylaw of the City of Flin Flon to authorize the expenditure and borrowing of money for the design and construction of a new Aqua Center facility, be amended as follows. Clause number 4, delete 2026 to 2046, replace with 2027 to 2046. And in clause number 6, delete 2026 to 2046 and replace that with 2027 to 2046. Further be it resolved that bylaw number 2024-13 as amended be done and finally passed.
Seconded, Councillor Hanson. All in favor? Gee, I'm glad I didn't have to read that one.
Yeah. I need it.
I have two resolutions, Your Worship. First up is the Manitoba Grow Project Funding Road Renewal and Bridge Replacement, 34-36. Whereas the City of Flin Flon wishes to access funding from Manitoba Grow for road renewal and bridge replacement, and therefore be it resolved that the City of Flin Flon approve a road renewal and bridge replacement project to the value of $4,534,208, and that a request be made for $2,267,104 in financial support from the province of Manitoba through Manitoba Grow for Municipalities program.
Seconded, Councillor Eagle. All in favor? Thank you.
Second resolution, Your Worship, is Variation Order 2024-02, Kike Affordable Housing, 67 Church Street. That's 34-37. Be it resolved that the application for Variation Order 2024-02 by Kike Affordable Housing Project to vary the requirements for parking and loading under the CS Central Commercial Zoning Bylaw as follows. Parking stall length from 6 meters to 5.42 meters. Loading space length from 9.1 meters to 7.97 meters to allow for some reduction for 2 of the parking stalls and the loading stalls be approved.
Seconder, Councillor Slip. All in favor? And that's it. Any further comments?
Nope.
And we'll call for adjournment.
Pause.
Thank you. And then we will open for questions.
Yeah, so George, you mentioned this, the Council Rich, what was the date of that, the Straw City Network, is that what it was called?
Let me find out.
Yeah,
It was called
great.
Strong Cities Network. That's right.
What was it, the conference?
It was a big conference, yeah. So it was continually titled Preventing Hate and Building Social Cohesion Conference. So making it even worse.
Preventing hate and sorry, what?
And Building Social Cohesion Conference.
And when did this take place?
Last week.
Yeah.
I think if I could just add to that, it was last week, and it's the first conference of its kind. There were mayors and representatives there, just hundreds of people, and we know that Councillor Richardson has advised us that she's going to give her report to council, and I would imagine she'll be on the radio talking about that as well.
Okay.
It was very exciting and truly, I know she did us proud for Flin Flon and our region by doing that.
And you mentioned, George, she was a presenter with one of 3 presenters from Canada and the U.S. that made a presentation. You said that as well?
That's right, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the other question is this public regarding variation art, is this just basically the Friendship Center parking lot? Yeah. Yeah. And you just want to expand it to make it bigger?
No, it's parking. It was
State and construction.
stayed in construction because the parking bylaw was too small. It was 2.6 feet. How do you get in there? 2.6 feet in. How are you parking that? You know what I mean? Unless you have a motorcycle.
Right.
So yeah, they had to make the parking stalls large enough so they get in and out spot.
Guess this variation is just to aid in construction.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just housekeeping, basically.
Because I don't think they're making them larger. I think they're making them smaller.
Slightly smaller, just very slightly, but the bylaw had to take her. So it's housekeeping.
For this room for construction that they need.
Yeah,
At least that's what it is. Okay. Be clear.
We had this question that can't remember where it was, so I remember by after Eric's done, I'll ask again. It's up and I won't ask.
Well, I've got one on this on the public meeting here, in that the measurements as they were presented here, to my eye, didn't make a whole lot of sense. It's a parking stall length from 6 meters to 6 meters, 2.62 feet to 6.5 feet at 5.42 meters.
So the feet,
That's why I just followed the years.
they're incorrect.
Yes, print the meters. The meters are correct.
Okay. So the feet is the incorrect measurement.
Yes.
Okay. So I remember seeing that in, I think it was last week's paper, and ad what the
Was his.
but
You could have followed that time if it would have picked up.
well, I could have, but by the time I noticed it, it was about 4 minutes before deadline, and I was preoccupied. But such is life. To keep firing away here, I wanted to ask a little bit about this bylaw that was specific for that's GRO project funding, the road bridge and on bridge replacement. I wasn't sure exactly what we were talking about here. Is this an application for the funding, or is the funding being received?
This is an application for funding. We have to have a resolution in order to move forward in our application to fund it.
Okay. Is there a specific place that this project, if approved, would be taking place at? Like, where are we looking at?
What that would, and question, what one area we're looking at is the bridge on I. So if we get this money that we can't, look at repairs.
That's closed down right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so totally closed for your.
Well,
Those
the way it has it.
Yeah, walking part's been closed.
the drives,
Yeah, well, it's drivable been done for 10 years or more for a bowl.
So if you don't get the funding, what do you do? Is it just going to stay closed? I guess, eh?
Well, we'll have to make focus.
We'll have to look at auctions.
We'll have to study priorities. There's a lot of jobs that are counting on us. What we have is we have some money, if I'm correct on this one, we have some money budgeted in the next couple of years, and this is a matching fund. So if we can budget as much as we can to garner as many matching funds as we can do more work in the community. And we've held off on road work. We've had lots of comments about that, but we've had to wait until we could afford to put some money aside for it. This will allow us to make a noticeable difference in the community.
So you do have some money put aside for this?
Yeah, we did well budgeted for it. Yes.
We got done in the financial plan is if you look for the projections for 2025, we do have, on this off the top of my head, so it sounds necessarily thinking, but I think we have put away a projected amount of $800,000 for road work in 2025. And so what we're doing is this application has 3 years to spend the money if we get it.
Okay.
So we're looking at now leveraging our $900 million and asking for another million to manage to try and meet that. And like those were more than 1 year period. So we're asking for $4.5 million. And so that's for road work, renewal and rehabilitation throughout the city, plus the Pine Avenue Bridge, and then also some work on the Boardwalk Bridge.
You said road work rehabilitation. What was the other one? Sorry,
The bridge, the Boardwalk Bridge, as well as the Pine Avenue Bridge.
we said road work rehabilitation and
Road work and rehabilitation throughout the city.
Just so I'm clear, when you say boardwalk bridge, are we talking about the road bridge that's over, I believe, Wallace, or are we talking about the one that's actually on the boardwalks?
the one that's on Newport.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure.
When we got some flooded water a couple of years ago, then we had some difficulty with that bridge and did a sort of a semi-permanent repair to make sure. So now we can take some of this funding if we get this application approved, and we can make it so that there's no concern about that bridge anymore.
It's playable.
Yeah.
Oh, did it ever? That was nasty. We go a little bit off what you've mentioned.
Because one of the things I obviously wanted to ask about was the Pine Bridge closure. It sounds like at the very least it's going to be closed for quite some time, assuming that the funding comes in and everything like that. It's going to take some time to get the money. It's going to get some time to actually do work. And I know that that bridge was still being used by people in the neighborhood to cross the creek in that area, kids coming home from school, all of that, and that the nearest crossing across the creek is way on the other end of the park. For anybody who would need to use that bridge in the neighborhood, is there any official advice on what to do or how to get across the creek now that that's not there? Or any sort of safety guidance?
You're 4.5 blocks from the bridge at the school. Right?
The advice is not
It's
to
a
use that
5
bridge.
block. So, just use that other bridge, like, if you go look at it, it's falling apart.
Oh, it's seen better days.
Yeah.
Is the bridge at Creekside behind the school still working? Or is
Yes,
that
it's a nice bridge. It's a
Yeah.
nice
So
bridge.
there's a second you can cross there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Has there been any sort of assessment or look just to make sure that that bridge and the one on Wallace are good to go? Like,
We had an engineering study in 2024 on all the bridges.
Okay. And everything is kosher there? Everything's all good?
It should be. We put enough money into that one on walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
$750,000.
And that's how many years ago?
Yeah, 11 or 12.
So it's probably 3 or 4 million now.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
To redo that
A
same
couple
work.
culverts. But I don't see that being an issue.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to ask was whether this was a temporary or permanent closure. It sounds like it's temporary, but it could take some time. Would it be safe to say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no fixing what's there.
I
That's
mean,
all I'll say.
yeah, like there's that girder that's been underneath the bridge that seems to like been propping it up for God knows how long. But,
It was a makeshift kind of a thing to keep it open just for walking, but now if it's been declared by somebody unsafe, then there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head. It's unsafe. No matter what people might say, it's unsafe. And an engineering study told us so.
okay.
And the answer to your question to people asking what to do, go around.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, I don't know if we have a plan to remove what's there, because I haven't gone to look at it lately, but that would probably be the wisest thing on our part, to make sure that there is nothing there, then
Well, and I
it's not an issue.
I don't think there's anything left there that is salvageable or that could be used for new road work. You know what I'm saying? Like all the infrastructure that's there is finished.
Oh, yeah, it's done, it's
Yeah,
done.
so.
That bridge has been like that since I can remember.
I think the 21st Field Squad built that before you.
Probably,
Yeah.
like it's been there and it's old railway ties, and I mean, it's probably 50 years past its, it just got lucky. I used to drive a bus over it, you could see the damn thing.
Exactly.
No,
And
it's
that's
done.
back in the 70s,
It's done.
so.
If I could also ask, because Lynn, you brought up the bridge assessment and everything like that, that's determined that the other two are good to go. Is that the same thing that showed that this wasn't suitable for use anymore? Where did the,
No, the study that was done in June of 2024 showed deficiencies that we needed to work on and what it would cost us to repair or replace that bridge.
okay.
But it was determined very recently that we had to take that bridge out of service.
Okay. So from that report then, it would have been, if I could assume, it would say that this bridge requires work, but when we'd have to take it offline, we don't know. And then recently, it's just like, we gotta do it now.
Well, yeah, okay, sort of like that.
Okay.
The engineering study itself also lists priority repairs, and so the Pine Avenue Bridge was listed as urgent. And so then we got to the stage where we determined that it was not in condition to be able to continue to utilize that.
Okay.
So we will be looking at, provided we're successful with our application for funding, that bridge will be part of the work in the summer of 2025. So we won't have to wait till 2027 or anything. We'll put it in for next year's plan.
Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Also wanted to ask about this bylaw that I believe Councilor Slip read out, 2024-13, the one that changes around a couple of the years as listed in the Aqua Center agreement. Any particular reason for why this has been shifted around? Like, was there an issue with the first one that needed to be resolved? Like, what are we looking at?
And it's only because the payments are going to start as of January 1st, 2027, rather than December 31st, 2022.
Okay.
And so the municipal board requested that change, and then in order for us to do third reading so that we could pass that bylaw and move forward with the commission.
Okay. So that change did come from the municipal board, that didn't come directly from the city?
It was an order from the municipal board in order for us to read third reading on that.
Okay. Okay, just wanted to figure that out, because that's a very thick paragraph, and I was just like, I hope I know what's going on with this. Maybe a question better off for anybody else within the city, but I'll ask it anyway. Has there been any update on the state of Camp Whitney?
None to this date, none that I've heard of.
Okay. Nothing come back from insurance or anything like that?
None that I've heard of.
Okay,
We have to be patient.
that's fair enough. Doesn't happen overnight, and it's not exactly easy to get like a construction crew out there to fix everything up quickly. Also wanted to ask about, from the Public Utilities Board, I know that a report from them about the requested change to the water and sewer rates coming up was released last week. I took a perusal of it. I'm wondering if anybody here has anything to say about that report or its findings or how it may impact the city.
That report's going to the committee of the whole on Tuesday, so council will have an opportunity to read it at that point.
Okay. I'll ask anyway. I suspect that it might be one that would probably be best to ask after the committee of the whole, but I'm here now, so I might as well do it. From my reading of it, it looks like a rate increase has been approved, but not as much as the originally proposed rate increases. Does that change the city's plan, anything like it being approved for an increase in fees, but not as high as originally anticipated?
The Public Utility Board order has ordered that those are the rates that we move forward with, and they are revised rates. They are lower than what the original application had asked for, but they are still an increase. And so once we've had committee of the whole and council has had an opportunity as a whole group to peruse the entire document, we will be putting information out to the public with regards to that.
Okay. All right. And if those rates are to the city's satisfaction, is there any sort of recourse?
It's a Public Utility Board order.
Okay.
It's not a question of satisfying us.
Okay. Fair enough.
We get to implement the change that we're given.
Okay.
And what we're told to do.
Okay.
It's same as we have with school board taxes. We're told what to collect, and we do it.
Well, and I can make the comment that the Public Utilities Board is typically and technically known as a quasi-judicial body. This isn't just a group of people that have time to look at things. This is a group of people who are really issuing orders which are tantamount to legislation. And that's what their job is under the legislation under which they operate. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure what there would be, like, if it was a situation where this is what the pub says, so we have to go off of it, or if there was like an appeal process or something like that, so.
I can say legally that appeals that might be able to be made at any circumstance, at any time in Manitoba by municipalities or any other group that's subject to that legislation, it is very rare in a court of law, in King's Bench Court, that a judge would overrule or find fault with that kind of quasi-judicial body. And it is because they are very qualified and they're given what's called great deference. So it may be a fool's mission to decide to appeal to the court. But having said that, I make that as a general comment.
Fair enough. Okay, that's it for me.